First, let's create a new document to get started with our layout. Click on it, or just use the shortcut, Command+N on Mac or Control+N on PC. Great! Now click Create New to start setup. As the title says, we'll briefly explain Bleed and how to use it, how to design an entire book or magazine, and at the same time, how you can export it for print, for a website, or to achieve the result you want in the right way. Alright, to start, here we have New Document. Here we have the name of your file. We can name it Book. Here you have the size. We'll leave it as is, a 4. You can choose to set the page size in cm, mm, inches, or pixels, whatever works for your project. But for today's tutorial, we'll use centimeters. Now, the topic of bleed is very important. Bleed is, what is bleed? It's the last thing in the printing process. After the paper or the book is printed, when it goes to the cutting stage. So when they start working at the print shop and need to cut the book, you have to make sure that outside the artboard or the page boundaries, you've given extra space. You add extra color or background so that when they cut, there's no white showing on the edges of the pages. Now, after we set the bleed, we set it to 1/4 centimeter. Here, the number of pages is very important. Now choose 32 pages. Here you have the 1/4. Here you have more settings. Now, more settings, these pages appear just as they are. For spacing, I set it to 2 centimeters. I prefer to keep it at 2 centimeters, which is the distance between the pages, whether it's between pages on the right or left, or pages stacked on top of each other. Now I click Create Document. Alright, now our document or our page has opened up like this. We'll start with the pages from the top. Of course, these spaces we talked about are 2 centimeters. The red color you see at the top, that's the bleed we mentioned earlier. This is how, when you bring in a background, you need to make sure the background extends outside the artboard for the cutting process at the final stages of printing. Alright, now let's start with the pages. How do I identify the pages in Illustrator? As soon as you click on a page here, the page number will appear at the bottom. So this is 1, 2, 3. You'll see the number changes down here. 5, 6, and so on like this until you reach number 32, which is ours. Now, you can also go to Window, and there's something called Artboards here. Here, it opens up all the pages for you. As soon as you click on a page, it shows you its number here so you can manage things easily. Alright now, I want to bring in a master or a template to work on. Yeah, in this video, we're going to explain how to set up the book's dimensions, and how to export the book the right way. As for the topic of design aesthetics, whether the design looks good or not, it's up to you whether you import a design from Photoshop or start building it directly inside Illustrator, depending on your workflow. But I recommend a website called, or really any website that offers ready-made templates. It doesn't have to be a specific one. That means that it is possible for you to help them. It is templates. You do not take a template and put it as is and say, that's it, the design. No, this way your design will be rejected. So you go to the site called Freebec. I will put it in the video description and take a ready-made template from it and work on it. Now I go to Open. I want to take the template that I prepared from here. Alright, so here I use the Cut shortcut X or Control+X to remove the object. Then I pasted it using Command+V or Control+V if you're on Windows. Alright, now let me quickly explain the step I just did to center the object. I go over here to the Align panel and choose the alignment I want. And I do it like this. You can also go to Window from here, find Align, and bring it up from there. And you make the artboard center it on the artboard. And then you can go back, for example. I just like to explain this step because it's nice and important to do it this way. Okay, now I've worked on the first page number. The first page, which is number 1. Sorry, so I'm enlarging it because of the bleed issue I mentioned. I'm enlarging the background, like this. Alright,